Hello, hello. Welcome to From Grief to Glory. I am your coach, Tiara Graves. I am the leader of this space. Welcome to this broadcast on tonight. We are trying to get through this. We've had technology issues. I can't bring my guests on, so please bear with us. Be patient with us. We will figure this out. Um, so hopefully she'll come back on. I'm waiting for Dr. V. So again, I am Tiara Graves. Welcome to From Grief to Glory. Tonight we have a special guest joining us to share on the topic of grief. So give us a second. This is my third attempt. um, so hopefully she will join us again. So Dr. V, if you're on and you can see this broadcast, please just request again. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. All right, so we're just waiting for, okay, it looks like she's on. So we're going to try this again. This is the third attempt. Third time is a charm. That's what they say. So let's see. So Dr. V, I just sent you the invite to join the live. All right, it's adding.
All right, I am here.
We still have a black screen.
I, I don't know why, because I can see myself over here, and I got it on the
That's
iPad
so
too.
weird.
You might just
Yeah,
can't see me, but I can see you.
but I'm supposed to be able to see you. That's like I'm supposed to be able to see you too, but I don't, yeah, I really don't know why this is doing this.
Mm. All right. Well, like I said, because I can see you, and it's not in audio, I can hear you too. So I am not sure what's.
Yeah. So the screen, when you split the screen with two people on, it should show both of us on the screen together.
And that's the way it does. You're at the top, and I'm at the bottom.
Okay, so it's showing right, let me see, on Facebook.
Hmm.
So it's not showing it correctly on my phone. So there's a delay. There's a glitch somewhere. So let me see. Facebook is super crazy and super weird.
Sometimes it is, and like I said, technology is great when it works, but when it doesn't, it's a mess.
Like it's just like why it's like the screen just looks super weird, and I'm looking at my nostrils.
Mm. Well, I can see your whole face, but like I said, it's up. This it's right to your neck.
Is it?
Hmm.
Okay. Lord, get us through this broadcast in the name of Jesus. They just don't want us to be great on tonight. So I
Mm.
have it on my phone and I have it over here on the computer. I'm looking at my nostrils. All right. It looks crazy on the computer. So let's hope that it's the right angle on the actual live. But we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Okay.
Again, welcome to From Grief to Glory. I am Tiara Grave, your licensed grief specialist coach for this space. Tonight we have the honor of welcoming Dr. B. We are so excited to have her and welcome her to this space. She is a author. She's also a grief specialist coach and a whole lot of other things. She is the doctor of all doctors, and I will let her share her own bio. share whatever she feels led to share with us on this evening. However, the Lord leads her. We are so excited to welcome someone who has experienced grief, who also has a grief platform, who is using her pain to help others fulfill their purpose in life. She just launched Rising Through the Pain, which is also Joy, Grief, Loss, and Restoration, that I had the honor to be one of the co-authors in that book with her. And I can go on and on and on about this dynamic woman of God. I am so honored to have connected with her through Dr. Rhonda. So, Dr. Rhonda, if you see this, if you go back and catch us on the replay, thank you, thank you, thank you for your connection that brought me this beautiful connection. So, I'm not going to talk long. I'm going to turn the platform over to her and let her share on tonight whatever God has placed on her heart concerning grief and God's glory in her life. So please welcome, welcome, welcome. Meet us in the comments and welcome Dr. B.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much, Tiara Graves, soon to be Dr. Graves, right? Yes.
Yes.
Let's get it. I love it. Yeah. I guess my journey kind of started kind of a little rough, Tiara, for real, because I lost all my siblings. I had three sisters and a brother, and both my parents, they are deceased. So my youngest sister was the last to pass. She passed in 2014. And whew, it just sent my life in in a spin. I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was serving in the military, getting ready to retire, looking at retirement in a few years. And I was just like, Lord, well, what's the next for me? I'm the only one left. What am I going to do to maintain sanity? So I had gotten life coach certified, Christian coach certified, salt and life certified, and then grief and joy restoration was my last certification. And God brought me back to that certification and said that was my calling. I was like, wow. Out of all the stuff that I've been through here, I was 56 years old and just found out why I was put here on this earth and what I was put here to do. Mm. So it took me a minute to, adjust, but I said, I'm too old to run from it. I'm not gonna run from it. I said, God, let me know what it is, my calling is. So I'm gonna start to serve. So I started doing one-on-one grief coaching, and it was hard because grief coaching is hard because you
Right,
deal with a lot of heavy hearts, right?
right.
Yes, and that hurt. It hurts. And sometimes the pain transfers. So you be feeling it right after you deal with your clients and you talk with them and you try to make them feel better, and then it takes you back to down that road that road yourself.
Right,
So
back to your own
you right. So we definitely sympathize, feel, but like I said, yeah, it's a calling and it's our purpose. So I realized that God ain't gonna put no more on us than we can bear, and death is something that we all have to do one day.
right.
So it's what you gonna do with the dash, the in between. We was born and we
Yeah.
know we gotta leave one day, right? So now it is about the dash in between that legacy, because some people will be, you leave some family here, and we all want to create a legacy for them. So when COVID hit, it took grief to a whole nother level. And I realized I was like,
Absolutely.
huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, COVID took grief to a whole nother level.
It did. It was like, oh my God. I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I can't, because people was dying every day. It was like their families and husbands, and then they lose the wife and a couple of kids. It was just hard. It was like, oh my God. So I said, I had some books, but I created a grief kit. That's when the grief helpline was born. So I created this kit that I can mail out to people to help them, to heal from grief and loss. And so the grief kit has a devotional, got a workbook, a coloring book, because a lot of times they struggle, they can't, concentrate, and
Hmm.
um, and it has a journal. So, do you give your clients journals for grief?
So I haven't actually taken any clients. I just got my license last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I've just been using my platform through the group.
Okay.
but I haven't actually taken on any clients yet.
Okay. Okay. Well, I started working with, I'll tell you, some places that you really could target to get clients, the funeral homes, right? Because they work with clients all the time. And a lot of times people, that's something they don't prepare for. Because a lot of people say, okay, I just pay for the funeral. I don't have, a whole lot of money left, right? But when you can do like sessions with the funeral homes, they can carry some of your products to put in the packages to help with their clients and stuff. It helps a lot, and it helps you get your message out and to be able to speak in groups.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So how long have you had your grief platform?
Since 2016. When I started
Okay.
doing the grief, at first I did my first book, The Grief Helpline. It was a devotional, it's a 100-day devotional. And the first 50 days were grief relief. And the second half of it is joy restoration. So when God gave me my business, my coaching business, he gave me the name and he gave me the joy restoration part. And so I always try to lean towards the joy restoration part because like I said, grief is heavy. So I try to get my clients to the other side
Right.
and restore the joy because after we got to be thankful that we were connected to the person, even though they passed on. We got to thank God for the love that we have, and I tell people that creating memories and taking pictures because one day that's all they're gonna have.
Yeah.
It's so important.
And just give us a little bit more about your background.
So, like I said, I retired Army. I did 24 years in the DC National Guard. Seen a lot of soldiers, pass away. Some I was deployed in Iraq, and one of our youngest soldiers, Daryl Dent, he was killed while we were over there, hit with an IED. So, it's just I had 13 uncles, aunts, and uncles on my mom's side, and all of them passed away except for one. Had nine on my dad's side, and three of them are still living, but the rest of them passed away. Both my grandparents, well, I'm 66, so, you know, um, but all of them have passed away. So it's been hard, it has. But like I said, I try to do things that will honor them to keep
Right.
them, yeah, in my, because like I said, my grandfather was born in 1900. He died in 1970. But I remember him asking for, one day we was going to town, which wasn't far away, but he asked for 50 cent worth of gas. I couldn't believe it. I said, did he say 50 cent? I was like 12. But that right there stuck to me. I was like, I can't believe Paul just asked for 50 cent worth of gas. So I was like, he was always said he had no money, but he really was serious. He didn't have no money because who was getting 50 cent worth of gas?
Right.
you know. So I was like, oh, he was granddad was broke for real, right? But I think about it
Right.
now. They worked so hard and they had hardly nothing. We didn't know they were
Yeah.
broke because, like I said, we used to go down and we had plenty of food, ham, chicken, biscuits, and I mean, we ate good, right? So we was thinking they was doing all right, but no, not for real, they
Hmm.
weren't. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Yeah,
that's
that's
why I
good.
work so hard now with my books and my business, trying to help others to start their business, to build their brand. It's so important for us to have different streams of income, you know? And when God opens the door for you, open the door for somebody else. Don't think like it's just for me. Don't be
Right.
selfish about it. Be humble, spread love, spread joy, regardless of what we see in the world. God got the last say so, you know? So he promised to take care of us, so we don't have to continue this journey, keep our heads up, and keep smiling.
Right.
Hmm.
That's good. Talk a little bit about legacy, because I know your platform is legacy. So how do you tie legacy into grief?
So with the grief helpline, like I said, when I started my business, okay, I didn't know which way it was going to go, but it started to blossom because when I stopped doing just one-on-one, then it led to groups, right? From groups, we started to do like the group coaching and stuff like that, which was good. But then I realized I had a whole kit, so I didn't have to do one-on-ones and groups no more. I could mail my stuff products, right? So I started to reach a larger audience. Then I started to do collaborations because I was in 8 collaborations before I started doing mine. And I seen some good stuff and some not so good. I was like, okay,
Mhm.
I can create my own project, right? And help some people to become authors. So the first one that I did was Your Wings Were Ready, But My Heart Was Not. And we had
Oh,
20, mm-hmm, we had 20 authors, and we all wrote for a chapter. Everybody was so excited when the book launched. They was like, okay, that was good. So what we gonna do next? I said, oh, that book to me, it was a mess because I told them everybody write 1,500 words, honey. But some of them had 13, some had 18, some 2,000. It was like nobody didn't read what I put out there. So I said, oh no, we're gonna switch up. We're gonna go to devotionals, right? So 90-day devotionals. And that way it opened up the door where I could get 90 authors, and we all write for one day. And we stuck to it. You see what I'm saying? So consistency. But we've done like 4 90-day devotionals. And then when we did Joy 365 with them 365, woo wee. That was the work right there, Tiara. Don't try that one, okay?
oh yeah. I'm like, don't try that at home.
Girl, I'm telling you, I was like, oh my God, I had to take off a month, 6 weeks afterwards, right? I was wore out from Joy 365.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just went on back to my little 90 days because I could do that and handle it. But yeah, but I love devotionals and I love them because, like I said, I really don't have a large circle since my siblings, they friends don't come around no more. They passed away, so they was coming to see them. They weren't coming to see me. And then I retired from the military, and a lot of people move away, move back home or wherever they from. So we lose connections there. But with the books, I can have somebody to talk to, that's wrote in my books. I can keep love. We can break bread. We can think about, partnering and doing stuff, motivating each other to
Each
stay on this
other. Yeah.
journey, right? Because being an entrepreneur,
Right.
it can be lonely. What you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it can be. Especially when you don't have like-minded entrepreneurs that's doing the same thing as you. So
Right.
even though there's lots of entrepreneurs out here, it's fulfilling and it's a sense of community when you can connect with other authors because
Mm-hmm.
other authors know what it's like to be an author.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I enjoy being around authors and speaking our language because we understand and we all realize that we all started somewhere. You see what I'm saying? That was that first book or the first collaboration that we was in that made it real. And since then you all we always are is inspired by others because when you hear somebody else's story and they say, oh, I got 25 books, because I remember when I heard that I was like, what, 25? But it's not hard to do because actually I have
Right.
40 books now, 40, and I
That's
never,
amazing.
yeah, I never, you see what I'm saying? A lot of them are collaborations. If you want to get out there in a big way, you be in a couple of like 10 collaborations, because 10 collaborations is like 10 chapters, right? But it
Mm-hmm.
also is 10 books that you can sell, 10 different products. And once you
Right.
are in those collaborations, I don't care if it's a devotional, say if mine was Grief to Glory, right? Then I can make me some cups to say Grief to Glory, some t-shirts, some pens, some pencils. I can have a whole kit from my devotional. You see what I'm saying? From my
Right.
one title, right? And you can do that with each of them for real. So
Right.
that helps you to brand, to have products. Like I said, if somebody passed away and you got all those cute gifts, people don't think about going to the store because they don't feel like going to the store anyway. They tore up their mind all over the place. They rather to come to you and get it and you just ship it to them than to have to. But if you don't have it, you haven't prepared, yourself or made the created the products, then you're gonna lose out, right? But there's so many ways that you can do that. You can do it on Zazzle where you don't even have to ship it. You just had those cute little pictures on your website, and they just go click and pay, and then Zazzle or whatever they ship your stuff to the Printify, all of that, honey. They ship directly to the customer. So think about that. How can you create different streams of income, be in different collaborations because you're going to learn a lot. And then they're like minded people. that we working on be on one accord. So you get 9 or 10 more women that you can work with and do some amazing stuff, invite to your podcast, be on theirs, be in magazines and whatever, whichever door, that opens, that's leading in the direction where you want to go, to keep you moving.
Yeah, and that's how I birthed this group. So this group was birthed from an anthology
Hmm.
that I was a part of. So the anthology was I Live to Tell It, and my chapter was From Grief to Glory. And that's how I started this group 2 years ago. So after we released the anthology, God placed it on my heart to start the group because it was a topic that wasn't discussed enough.
Right.
And it was one of those things that grief is universal
Hmm.
and something that we all will experience in one way or another as we walk this walk of life. And so God led me to create the group, and it has truly been a blessing for me because it allowed me to educate myself about grief. And then I took the next step in getting the grief license. And I've just been trying to see what God will have for me to do next concerning grief. But I really love the platform, the space, allowing other people to come here to share their stories and share what grief has been like for them. Because even though it's a universal thing, it's also a unique experience, and we
Hmm.
don't all go through grief or deal with grief the same way. And so
That's true.
it's educating me as well. Even though I lead the group, but I'm always open to hear other people's stories, other people's testimonies, and just learn from their experience as I continue to go through my own. Because, like you said, your family you're the last one, and um, we will celebrate my aunt's 95th birthday next month, and she's the last one.
Wow,
And you
that's a
don't really
blessing.
think about it, right? You don't really think about it full circle until you realize it's only one left,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Yes.
Um, and so to have my aunt, the oldest, the eldest, 95, and then my niece is 4.
Mm.
And so, like you always say, you talk so much about legacy. And this is what me and my sisters are trying to do for my niece,
Right.
right? Educating her about her family, and letting her see, you know, where she came from,
Hmm.
because she
Hmm.
didn't just come from her mom and dad.
Right.
There's a whole generation, even though she won't physically meet them, there's a whole generation for her to know who they were.
Right.
And so, yeah, I thank you for sharing with us on tonight.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you
for
so much for
inviting
being
me.
here.
Yes, absolutely. I'm here. I'm in North Carolina because my aunt's birthday. She'll be 84 on the 19th of August. So I'm going down. My mom's sister, and she's getting tally, where she's not really walking anymore. So she's kind of down. And so, like I said, I'm not used to seeing her like this. So it's kind of depressing to see her that way. But like I said, you're right. Life does come full circle, and we have to thank God for each and every day. But I would tell you,
Yeah,
make sure you take a picture of that generation, all of y'all together, like down to the 4 year old. You see what I'm saying?
right,
Because one day that picture, looking back at that picture, really will, enlighten a lot of hearts. They be like, wow, I remember that. And like I said,
right,
the memories that we create in life is all we gonna have to hold on to. You can create good memories or you can look back at all the bad ones, right? But the bad ones make you depressed, like, oh,
right.
you know. So I think when we get out of bad situations, we learn something out of that because God allowed you to go through that for a reason and He brought you out. So now you need to tell somebody else that's going through that, hey, you can make it out too. It could be
Hmm.
worse, right? Yeah,
Right.
so and that's what books have done for me. So now I don't mind telling any of my story, anything that I've ever done. I actually could put it in a book. I'm not ashamed of my past because I said God allowed me to go through that for a reason. And so when somebody else is dealing with something, I don't look down on anybody because I know it's nothing but His grace and His mercy that brought me this far. And it's not personal because I can't take nothing with me. You can't even. We got to leave everything here. We get one little
Right.
outfit, whatever they choose to put on us, and that's if you really have on the whole outfit. They tell you to bring all that stuff,
Right.
but do we know what we got on, right?
Right.
You just see the top and the bottom, and half of that. So you don't know if it's a whole skirt or a whole some pants. You might have on just the waist. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Right,
But that's
right,
the stuff
right.
that people don't want to talk about. Yeah.
They don't. And insurance
Yeah.
is so important, in our in
Oh,
Africa.
yes.
That right there, honey, that GoFundMe, I'm just about sick of that right there.
Yes.
Because that is so hurtful to the family. Because
Right.
when you go to that funeral home, they say, I'm sorry for your loss, but where's your
This
insurance
is how much
policy?
it's going to cost.
Okay. And when you say you don't have one, they just slide you that little sheet to say, well, this is how much everything costs. And you can choose what you're going to pay for. And that's what you can get. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a business, so it's serious, and people be
Yeah.
grieving, plus they don't have the money to pay. And now some folks is acting like they don't have no memorial service, no cremation. I don't know what they donate their body to science. I mean, because people don't have it, you know?
Yeah.
But you can go
And
on,
that's a whole nother level of grief.
ain't it? But
Yeah,
you
that's
can
a
go,
whole
people
nother
can
level of grief.
get a policy, get a policy. If it's only $10,000, that'll make a big difference to your family, which is only less than 10, 15, $20 a month. But yeah, that's important right there.
It is.
And so I
Look, I'm
said,
gonna have to bring you back on so we can do a lesson on insurance.
but I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the invite. And like I said, time goes so fast when you're talking and having fun and talking about the stuff that you've been working on. Um, it's true to our heart. It's who we are now. So continue
Yeah.
your journey. Keep being amazing. But it's time to go get some clients because you can't say I'm a certified coach and I don't have no clients. Go get them. You know, you start with one, use their testimonials, then get two or three, then you'll see whether you want to work with one-on-one or group. But honey, move forward. Time waits for no one. Okay? This is your business and you have to make it pay for other stuff. And there's money out here to be made and clients to serve. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I appreciate you. And like I said, soon to be Dr. Grace, we're gonna get you squared away, honey.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
Thank
So,
you, thank you, thank you for coming on tonight. And again, thank you guys for tuning in. I saw there's several people that was um in the comment section. Dr. V, if you want to connect with anybody in the group, post your link in the comments so that if they want to reach out to you, you may be the grief coach that they need.
yes,
So that I
absolutely.
will
Yes,
gladly
I will
send
post my
them
stuff
your
in the
way.
group. Thank you.
Like, 'cause
Thank you.
yes, I will gladly send them your way. You're already taking clients, and I am not. So,
But you will be, like I said, it's not, because it's not that hard. So, like I said, once you put it out there that I'm ready to take clients, right? Because if you got your certification, you're ready. I mean, for real, I have a kid. You can work with my kid. And I'm telling you, step by step, we got to talk for real. Because
okay.
it's time to go get some clients. Okay.
Um, Thank you so much.
All right.
So yes, y'all have heard it here. Y'all have heard it here. Dr. V. Dr. V is a life specialist coach on grief, joy, and restoration. So if you guys are interested in connecting with her, she will put her information in the comment section. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you for your patience. Like I said, third time was the charm because we had to go live 3 times to get this broadcast up. But we thank God for what has took place on tonight. And we ask that you guys continue to stay connected to the group, stay connected to one another as we all continue to learn, heal, and grieve together as we move from grief to glory. Have a wonderful night. We will meet you back next month for another special guest. So stay tuned, stay connected, and continue to heal concerning grief. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.